So welcome everybody, and thank you very much, Bernard, for getting us off to a good start. We've got a lot of folks that are here that are interested in stress. If you're not interested in stress, that should stress you. If you know someone who is not concerned about stress in their life, that should stress you, because even though we are now a year past the 2 years past the lockdown, we are still reeling from the effects of a pandemic that the world had never seen before. The aftermath of it is causing a great deal of problems. And there are psychologists who are saying that the lockdown will take a toll. It's an immeasurable toll that it's going to play in the lives of many young people whose school lives and their social interactions were disrupted. There were a lot of people whose lives were completely derailed because they were in isolation. Some of us just were not cut out to live a life of isolation. But that's okay. We're going to be today focusing in on what we can do to take the edge off stress. What you and I, average normal people can do to ameliorate this dreaded condition and help our bodies deal with it, because we're going to have stress no matter what. Some people are stressed about what they ate this morning. Some people are stressed about what they didn't eat this morning. Some people are stressed about what they're going to eat later in the day. They're stressed that they don't have anything to stress about. So for some folks, anxiety is just never going to go away. But the body can deal with it either in a very good way, or it can deal with it in a very, very bad way. It's a very real problem, and we cannot trivialize it. And there are some people who live with levels of anxiety and distress that you and I, if you're not, even if we have a measure of stress in our lives now, there's some folks who have it on a level that is hard for us to even imagine. So I've got a couple of testimonials that I'd like to share with you, just to kind of get this, get things started. In fact, just one testimony in particular that I think illustrates the point and may help anyone who wants to understand what an extreme case, an extreme example of what stress is like for some people. So let's see if we can't get this to play for you while it's kind of getting itself lined up. I'm going to just remind everybody of what the FDA or the government requires us to say to you. You're reading it on the screen there. I'm just going to summarize it, but the FDA has not evaluated these statements. So nothing that we're saying today is intended to be a substitute for a visit to your primary health care physician. It's for education and information purposes only. So by law, we are allowed to share information with anyone, especially when it's just for educational purposes. You're going to hear testimonials. They're purely anecdotal. Results are atypical. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. I'm making no claims. Engage Global is making no claims. None of the representatives of Engage, the micronutrient company, are making any claims that Micro Daily, CBD Boost, or any of the Engage Global products will treat or cure any disease state. Only the government has the legal right, the legal authority to declare anything to be a treatment or cure for a disease. So that's why we can't say that, and we won't say that. We don't want to give you the wrong impression. But the stories that you hear, the individuals who share the stories are just telling their personal story. None of them have been coached. None of the statements that are being made have been pre-rehearsed. In fact, the recordings that were made were just made on a meeting just like this, just like Bernard and I having a conversation. So let's go back in time. This is only going back about let's see, what's the date on this? Freddie Ivory shared her story with us one day, and it was sobering, because I don't know anxiety the way that, like I said, some people know it. But hearing Freddie describe what she went through, what she lives with almost every day of her life, was was kind of amazing to hear. So I think you'll appreciate it. So let's let Freddie tell her story.
Can you hear me good? Because I'm having trouble again with my internet out here.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. For years, I've suffered with anxiety and disorder, anxiety and depression disorder. I extended from my childhood, it seems, and got worse, but at some point in 1992, it got so bad that I was diagnosed, went to the doctor and was diagnosed with major depression at that time because I was also suicidal. And of course, I've been on many medications for that. And I'd get a little better and then I get worse, get better and get worse. But of course, life happened. I think one of the things that really affected me, I lost a baby girl to cancer. And so I went through the radiation and chemotherapy and all of that with her. And then just things in life. So it just got progressively worse. And I had to be hospitalized several times because of it, because I was suicidal. And eventually, of course, I was taking therapy, but I got into an intensive therapy program. And with that one, I learned to manage my anxiety and depression, but they also changed my diagnosis to a bipolar 2. The difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is that with bipolar 1, people have manics. They're up, they'll go low and then they'll go real high and real high. In my instance, I have bipolar 2. I go high seldom and I don't go real high, but I stay low. I go low and I will stay low. I have been in a low for as long as a year. That means I did not leave my house, did not leave my room for a year, no more than to, go to the kitchen and eat and go to the bathroom. So I'm saying all that to say that it was really bad. In September of 2022, my anxiety level was bad. Depression was bad. I had gone into a low. And then I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. Well, as you all know, or some of you may not know, that I was introduced to Dr. Prasad's products. And I started using the EMF, the methylated formula, Brain Boost, and probiotic. And they helped tremendously with my heart issue. They also calmed my anxiety quite a bit. But then I knew from reading and also from the way that I was feeling that I had to be on the CBD. So I ordered the CBD and start using it. I feel a calmness now in my life that I haven't felt in years. I was the kind of person that I thought I was hot-tempered because I could go off like that about something. Well, it turns out that it was anxiety, high anxiety levels. I didn't know how to manage my feelings. And I've changed from that since I've been using the products and introduced the CBD. I'm much calmer. I have had things to happen since I've been using the products that would have sent me into a rage or something. I don't know, whatever that is. Any of you out there that suffer from anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. This is no joke. It completely changes your life. Matter of fact, I can look at people and tell a lot of times those who suffer from anxiety and those who think they suffer from anxiety. It's a completely different thing. But taking the CBD has really made a change in my life. I want to thank Dr. Prasad for his formulas. They are amazing. I have been on, you name the medication, I've probably been on it. And I'm not on any medications now other than I'm not on any medications. Really, I'm not on any medications. I take Dr. Prasad's products and I take my CBD. And I just took a CBD because I was trying to prepare for this, to give this testimonial, right? And I start to shake. I have tremors. It was so bad at one time that the food would just jump and I couldn't hardly hold my plate because it would jump. But I felt it. I knew it was going to happen but guess what? I told my husband, where's my CBD? So here it is. I just swallowed a pill just before I turned this camera on. It is an amazing product. If you know of anybody that have anxiety, I'm not talking about just nervousness. I'm talking about something that takes over your life. And it has taken over my life for, I would imagine 50 years, really, because there were times that I didn't know what it was. But I feel a calmness now. The only one thing left, and it's happening, I do go on those lows, and I suffer from agoraphobia, which is sometimes connected with that, which means that I won't leave my house. So I haven't left my house for months, right? But I'm getting there. Well, I take that back. I did go maybe 2 times out. And the one time I went out, I had a car accident. Man, I went out that day and I tore up 2 cars. 3 cars, I hit 3 cars. I didn't tell my, but I hit 3 cars in one day. And I was like, where is my CBD, right? And it helped calm me down. I didn't have a panic attack, and I didn't come home and have to get in the bed and stay in the bed, cover my head up for days, people, for days. I haven't done that. I haven't done that. I sleep like normal people. I can't even tell you how that is. Like, it's like so wonderful. I take my green formula at night just before I lay on the bed, the original, before I lay my head down. I sleep nights. I usually didn't sleep nights. I'd sleep during the day, but it wasn't a restful sleep, but I didn't sleep nights. The thoughts in my head were just constant. I always tell people it's like somebody take a snow globe, shake it up, and that's the way it's in there. It never settles, but it's settled since I've been taking the CBD. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Okay. Well, there you have it. That's Freddie sharing her story. I appreciate you all being patient and allowing that to play itself out. And I'm just going to flash up the disclaimer, once again, just so we can see it and remind everybody that testimonials are anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you, but she attributes the transformation that she experienced from being a person that was very high anxiety and even agoraphobia. She attributes the transformation that she's gone through to Dr. Prasad's formulas, the formulas that are in Micro Daily, the original bottle. I know she takes the EMF, and she especially drew attention to the CBD. CBD just made all the difference in the world. She described that experience of hitting those 3 cars. I remember talking with her about this offline. And she hit the car. She said she picked up the phone, called her husband, told him about it, and then she just went inside the building for her purpose of getting to that place. It was a meeting or something that she was going to, and she was able to focus on it and concentrate. She said any other time, there's absolutely no way she would have been able to function for like the next 2 weeks or so. But she believes that it changed her life. So we're happy for her, and we're very happy that now everyone has access to something that could potentially make a difference. Because we're talking about stress awareness, and this is National Stress Awareness Month, it is important to just note the facts. We're talking 49% of adults report that their behavior has been negatively affected by stress. Maybe not to the extent of Freddie, but 49% of adults said that their behavior has been negatively affected by stress. Common symptoms include increased tension in the body, quick anger, unexpected mood swings, and yelling at loved ones. I'm surprised that's only 49%. Look at it, says that 17% yelling at loved ones, only 17%. I don't know. I have to question that one. The American Psychological Association may have blown that one. I'm just kidding, of course. But it just seemed to me like it would be a little bit higher than that. Then also there's another interesting impact that stress has, and that is on heart disease and heart attacks. And chronic stress is associated with that. So it's not often that a person will go and see their doctor. They're having chest pains and short of breath, and the doctor runs all kinds of tests and says, there's nothing wrong. Tell me what's going on in your life. And then the truth will come out. Some sort of conflict on the job, or some conflict at home, or some other conflict in life, or some bad decision that has impacted the family economically. All those kinds of things can lead to real issues, real heart issues, heart disease, heart attacks, and so on. And then let's not even talk about gastrointestinal disorders. That pretty much just goes without saying. You ever been in a situation where you just feel like you got a knot in your stomach, because something just stressed you out? And for some persons, they would just, in fact, lose control of their bodily functions because of some stressful situation. But it's led to things, real measurable conditions like IBS and gastric ulcers, because every one of those conditions can be exacerbated by stress. And those aren't the only ones. Those are just two of the standout ones. Here's just a few others. The immune system is suppressed. Now, you might not even think about the immune system being impacted by stress itself, but it can suppress the immune system, and that then opens up a huge number of potential diseases that could come about as a result of poor immune function. For example, look at this list. This is just a short list that came up. Mental health conditions, anxiety disorders, depression, post-traumatic or PTSD, endocrine system dysfunction, adrenal fatigue, hypothyroidism, musculoskeletal issues. You wouldn't even think that the skeletal system could be impacted by stress, but it is very, very true. Look on the right side of the screen. Reproductive issues, menstrual irregularities, fertility reduced, sleeping disorders, insomnia, nightmares, and so on, and so on, and so on. Again, this is just an abbreviation of the issues that can come about if a person is experiencing a prolonged stress. That last one there, memory and concentration, no question about that one. I can't leave out that one just two above that too, abdominal fat accumulation. And if we only focus on that one by itself, then that would impact a whole bunch of us. Because unfortunately in fact, just so you know how serious abdominal fat is, even a small amount of abdominal fat, and they call that visceral fat, increases the chance of a cardiovascular event by quite a significant percentage. So interesting that stress can lead to that. Stress can cause that. So that's one of the reasons why it's very clear that the stress is on top of the list of things that can lead to serious problems. So I'm going to share. Last week we had another interesting testimonial that I thought was worth replaying again today, especially for some of the ones who were not able to make it last week. And this testimonial was, in my personal opinion, quite mind-numbing, just like Freddie's. But this is a young person. In fact, if I remember correctly, Sheron was only in her 30s, I believe. And Bernard, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but this Sheron Witherspoon, and she was happy to share her story and didn't mind being named, and she didn't mind the information being published because she told the entire story herself. But it's sobering. It's sobering to to hear again when someone that's a young person like this that has the kinds of issues that she had, and she could directly attribute the transformation in her life to Dr. Prasad. So let's take a listen to Sheron's story, and then we're going to talk a little bit about CBD. And
we got one more testimonial we wanted to share with you.
Sure. That you guys
Hey, Sheron.
To ask.
Hi, Dr. Prasad and Jonathan. I wanted to say that, a lot of times people feel like, young people don't go through a lot, but I did. In my early 20s, I used to have severe pain, and I almost lost one of my two children, or they wanted to deliver her like 5 months early because I was in so much pain, but didn't know why I was in a lot of pain. And I was diagnosed with severe endometriosis. I had chronic pain day in, day out, and not natural bleeding that women go through. And I was also diagnosed with osteoarthritis. I had it really bad in my neck and my spine, and it crippled me. I was feeling like I've been electrocuted. Shocks just would go down my neck and back, and I couldn't move. And it would come out of nowhere at any given time, no matter where I was at. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had those, oh my God, from head to toe, I was in pain. Rheumatoid arthritis, and I developed PTSD. When I used to live in Houston, Texas, I was coming home one day from work and like they got kidnapped, human trafficking. And from there, I developed what Freddie mentioned, agoraphobia, a fear or a form of anxiety. I didn't want to leave my home because I was afraid of that happening again. And I was placed on several different medications for anxiety, depression, insomnia, because I couldn't sleep. Like Freddie, just thoughts just running through my mind, fear, worries, day in and day out. And I just needed help. And I was telling my whole family, I have a large family, seven sisters and 5 brothers. And my brother Alex and the rest of my family was encouraging me to continue to pray and try to look for things, and they would be looking for things. And I never forgot the scripture that I read. In fact, I read it this morning, 1 John 5:14-15. It tells us, if you ask Almighty God, whatever you ask him, he hears you. And if your prayers are in harmony with his will, he will answer you. And so I continued to pray and ask for help, because I was in the bed all the time, constantly in a lot of pain and hurting. And I just didn't have a quality of life. And I was young, and in my 20s on up until now, I had continued to hurt. And so finally, when my brother discovered Dr. Prasad's products, he told me about it. I got on them. And I tell you, they work. When I got on the CBD, because I read what it's for anxiety, it's for insomnia, pain, depression. And those are things that I had, and I needed that. And so when I got on them, that's what I felt gave me my life back, because even today, I haven't even taken none of my products, including my CBD. And wow. Normally when it rains, because it's been raining all here all day today, either the day before, I start hurting so bad, head to toe, but no pain. And it's raining outside, no pain. Oh my God. I just was so happy that wow. I'm not hurting head to toe. And I tell anybody, these products are the real deal. They really work. And Dr. Prasad, I just wanted to tell you, there's some words to a song that say, if you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because I'm looking at you. The world is looking at you, Dr. Prasad, and you are beautiful to us. We thank you for all the products, because they really, really help. I went through so much in my life, losing a lot of family members. I lost my husband, my parents, and 3 of my siblings, several of them due to cancer. And that took me for a loop. And I'll tell you one thing, being on the CBD and increasing it and all, it helped me, because I've been driving since I was 15 years old. And I was not, the last 8-9 years, I haven't been able to go outside and get in my car and drive my own car. And just last week, I went to get in my car. My brother came and gave me a jump, because I don't go many places. And he gave me a jump. He said, come on, let's go around the block. And normally if I drive out of, the neighborhood I live in, that's when my anxiety come on. And it's so bad. It makes like I'm about to have a heart attack, and I go to shaking and sweating and going on. But I noticed that didn't happen. I drove out of my neighborhood, drove several blocks down the street, and I just tears just swelled up in my eyes, because I realized that this CBD is really working for me, and I might get my life back and be able to drive and be independent. You don't know how it feels to be independent and be able to get in your car and go wherever you want to go and not have, that hindrance, and to be able to get out your bed and want to be around people. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to stay in my house, perfectly happy staying in my house. But if I had to go anywhere, I had anxiety attack because of having to go outside of my house. But I noticed it's getting so much better, and I'm starting to have better quality of life. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Prasad, and I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Prasad.
I can't believe it.
I'm practically in tears. I'm blown away here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, these kind of people get help what we have. I think you and I and everybody should be proud of that. The product that I developed has having so much impact on life. I would have been happy even if it changed one life. I mean, how many people can change one life,
That's right. That's right.
And
no,
so,
you're thousands, and I think you're going to change millions, my friend.
Yeah. So I think thank you very much.
It's overwhelming and it's unbelievable.
I mean, these are cases, that if you tell the story, nobody will believe it.
That's right. No.
But I don't care. As long as she's feeling good.
That's right. Yeah.
Whether people believe or don't believe it, I don't care.
Thank you. Dr. Prasad said, whether people believe it or don't believe it, I don't care. He'd be happy if it changed one life, but this man is seeing many lives being changed, and he's excited about that, and we're excited right along with him. And it was quite emotional for him. So at one point there, it's like he couldn't even continue to speak. He had to pause and collect himself. But those two stories, I think, really encapsulate the impact of stress and the impact of this man's formulas on lives, on real lives. I'm not going to go into the details about how CBD works. I'm going to just show you a couple of the high points that Dr. Prasad had shared with us. Understand that CBD has a major impact on the body. It's extracted from hemp. It's in the cannabis family, the same as marijuana is, but it's not. They're not the same any more than a lemon is the same as an orange. They're in the citrus family, but this hemp is very, very legal, and marijuana is still illegal in some places. The hemp plant has 0.3% THC. Marijuana has 20% THC. So there's almost no THC whatsoever in hemp. And Dr. Prasad made it clear to us that the process of refining his product, his formula, is so precise that there's zero THC left in the end product. So there's no chance of a psychotropic effect on anyone. And he isolated it just down to the CBD itself. So that's important to know. Our bodies have two protective systems, the antioxidant defense system that we talk about all the time, and that's what microdaily has an effect on. And so just kind of, keep that separate in your mind. Microdaily works on one thing, the antioxidant part of our body, the way that it works, the immune system, inflammation. And then the second protective system we have is the endocannabinoid defense system. And Dr. Prasad's word, and I quote, the endocannabinoid defense system appeared much later than the antioxidant defense system. Although it was present in animals for millions of years, it was discovered only in 1992. So we're talking just, not long ago, what, 30 years or so that they determined that there was such a thing as an endocannabinoid system. And it's so detailed that they now have diagrammed it. You can actually see all the different components of it. And one scientist said that every cell in our body has CBD receptors. So our body wants CBD. It craves it. And this little diagram here just gives you an overview of how it works. Lots of technical details. The part that stood out to me is that this is part of the brain. The GABA receptor, very important. Things like tranquilizers affect the GABA receptor in the brain. The tranquilizer has a calming effect. The dopamine part of the brain. Of course, that's, the feel-good part of the brain. CBD is dancing all around in there, having a positive impact on how a person feels. That's the reason why it has an effect on anxiety. So you can think of it almost like it's a natural tranquilizer, but it's reducing anxiety and with absolutely no side effects, no side effect whatsoever. So that's the part I think that needs to kind of be kept in mind when you look at these two diagrams. The second bullet point there says that it protects against oxidative stress and inflammatory damages, mechanisms that are different in micronutrients, different from micronutrients. So it has a different approach to inflammation, a different approach to oxidative stress than micronutrients do. Has an impact on acute neurological diseases as well. So CBD, very natural. So the source of our CBD, it comes completely from hemp. No CBG. CBG is just a precursor to CBD. So when you look at those bottles, when you go to these stores that have CBD products, and they brag about having CBG, in fact, take a look here. Oh, by the way, just the picture in the background there is what the hemp plant looks like. It grows, I think we're talking like somewhere in the area of 12 to 15 feet, whereas the marijuana plant, I think, is only like 2 to 3 feet, something like that. So that's the difference. So if you're looking at a plant that goes above the height of your house, then that's hemp. That would not be, a marijuana plant. So it's a total different plant altogether. But Dr. Prasad also last week explained that when you see products labeled full spectrum CBD, that means you're getting a lot of useless stuff. And this is part of his slide, that CBD oil could be full spectrum or broad spectrum, but CBD isolate is purified CBD, much better than either of the two, because you're getting exactly the most important part of the CBD. You're getting the most important part. You're not getting all the other extra things, all the other baggage. You're getting the most important aspects of it. This slide really just had a couple of references to it. My favorite there is the second part, reduces pain, anxiety. So we're in National Stress Awareness Month. So anything that's going to have an impact on anxiety is a winner in my book, and should be a winner in your book as well. So keep in mind that, again, everything that we're sharing here is for information and educational purposes only. We're not making any claims that these products will cure or heal or treat any disease state. But here it is. Here's the product itself, CBD, and it has one ingredient, cannabidiol isolate. That's it. Can't get any better than that. There's no fillers, there's no nothing. Each capsule has 25 milligrams. So the entire bottle has 1,500 milligrams. Is it safe? How much is safe? Well, the FDA has indicated that CBD can be prescribed for a person with epilepsy up to 750 milligrams. So that means half the bottle has been approved by the FDA for a treatment. That's for children. So that just tells you just how safe it is. Half the bottle. Imagine that for the day. That's 30 capsules for the day that the FDA says is okay for children dealing with epilepsy. So Freddie at one point said that there were times when she would take 6 capsules every couple of hours when her anxiety was very, very high. And Sheron said the same thing, that they would take large amounts of it. And Dr. Prasad last week said 200 milligrams at a time should be sufficient to deal with anxiety if someone is having a real serious problem. So 200 milligrams would be about right. So 2 capsules would be 50, so 4 would be 100, 8 would be 200 milligrams. So that's the basic idea behind how much of the product could be used. Now, how much does it cost? Well, CBD has been on the market now for probably about, let's see, 10, 15 years. I think it started to become popular. It's become much more popular now in the last few years, and fairly expensive. Fortunately, small amounts of it, 1 or 2 capsules is all it takes to help most people. I take 1 capsule at night sometimes, right along with the sleep boost, and I go into REM. And if I wake up during the night, I go right back to sleep. So it's been a major game changer personally for me. But the cost, let's talk about the cost. Let me tell you how you can get it for free. During National Stress Awareness Month, anyone who right now, if you were invited here by someone to this meeting, they probably told you about Microdaily. They probably told you about Dr. Prasad's other formulas. And on the left side of the screen, you see his formulas, the core four. I'll give you a little bit of an idea of how each of those works in just a second. And we have Jeff Ashby here as well. And in fact, Jeff, if you want to unmute yourself, Jeff has the most history with us with this company. And I'm going to ask Jeff if he'll give us a brief 20-second commercial on each one of the products here in just a second. So the core four, if you decide to subscribe to the core four, then this month, if you're brand new, if it's the first time that you're ordering one, you're becoming a preferred customer, then you'll actually get the CBD boost for free. So that'll save you $103 there. So I highly recommend taking that route. So you can feel free to get back to the person who invited you, and they will help you to set your subscription up for that. Okay. So now, Jeff, let's talk about these products. Where are you, Jeff? Let's see if we can't spot.
Right here. You'll see me as the microphone's open, and I'll pop up there close by you.
All right. There you go. And pop on up there and get on the screen.
Super.
Give us a little bit of a breakdown. You told me about this product back in around 2016, I think it was. And I'm sorry, Jeff. I just was not feeling it because I know I had products that I know my products were very good, and they still are. But I told you I had 30 minutes or I think it was 30 minutes. I think 20 minutes is all I gave you.
20
minutes. And then I wouldn't let Jeff go for 2 hours once he started telling me about the way these products work, and particularly the impact on diabetes. But go ahead, Jeff. Give us a little commercial on Microdaily.
So it is our foundational product. It's where Dr. Prasad started with the military, 7 US patents, but you can see there at the top of that box, it says enhanced formula. Dr. Prasad took his original research and added to that with some new findings. In fact, a lot of what Dr. Prasad done, he's just discovered it recently. It's amazing that we have access to somebody that is that high up in understanding the human body and nutritional supplements. But here we have the foundational formula. It is what everything is based on because of the nutritional deficiencies that Dr. Prasad has discovered that exist in all of our bodies. We're just not getting through our diet what we need. But if you were to go back one picture there to that the core four, where we get the those that are ordering it this month get the CBD. The next product that we look at is Dr. Prasad's recommendation for our healthy gut. He says that you will not achieve full, you will not achieve full assimilation of the micronutrients in the foundational formula unless your gut is right, unless you've got the right combination of microorganisms that are in your gut. And so this product is the 2 of a 1-2 punch. If you're only getting 2 hits, you need to take the Microdaily EMF, whether that is the hydro formulation there that you showed the box of, or if it is the capsules. And I know we don't have time to go into it tonight, but I'll share a testimony at some point with our daughter-in-law and extreme allergies and how she is using that new hydro product. That they were doing just capsules as a family before that, but that hydro product has really made a difference for her.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Question for you here. Well, just want a little comment on this while we're on the screen, Jeff. Some recent research came out that lactobacillus, certain strains of lactobacillus, binds to forever chemicals, that PFAS. And so Dr. Prasad has got this loaded with what looks like every strain of lactobacillus makes up his formula. So I think everybody on here should, if you don't want to take probiotic daily for any other reason but for that, forever chemicals is everywhere. It's in most major water systems. It's in everything the plastic bottles that we drink out of, we're getting, and Teflon is everywhere. And it's killing people, it's causing cancer. But lactobacillus binds to PFAS. It's a detoxifier. So that's a big deal.
It really is. You could count up every one of those. There's 14 different genus, species, and strains that are included in there. But Dr. Prasad's really trick to it is he wanted to provide the best diet for those strains of bacteria. And so he's done that through the probiotic blend. So we've got both probiotic and prebiotic.
Prebiotics. Wow. Powerful, 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 powerful. Yeah, this is wonderful. What about the omega-3
Really, you know, the omegas, Dr. Prasad has counseled us that our bodies cannot make any omegas. We rely upon our diets to provide the omegas, and particularly in our brains, 40% of our brains are made up of those omega fatty acids. And so it's imperative that we supplement, and we supplement with Dr. Prasad's formulation, because it alters what is typically out there in the market with the combination of DHA and EPA. He also adds ALA and GLA, and then has a buffer in there. Believe it or not, Dr. Prasad understands antioxidants so well that he's included vitamin E. There you see that D-alpha tocopherol.
Yeah.
That is what keeps the rest of the formulation from going rancid. So he's really got it dialed in. Relates, yeah.
And one of the little detail for those who are diabetics should pay attention to. Borage oil is phenomenal for diabetic neuropathy, and he happened to put 150 milligrams of that in there also. So you want to improve your circulation in your extremities, then Dr. Prasad's formula. The man is just brilliant on every single level you could imagine. Okay, last one then. What about this collagen daily? This is my favorite personally.
It is just amazing. We received the patent numbers for this just last month, and ran a special on it. And I can't believe how many more people are enjoying those daily benefits of taking the collagen daily. 30% of our bodies are made up of collagen. Once again, something that you need to supplement. It does not come into your body in any type of a ratio that is usable, unless you can get the collagen peptides, those proteins that Dr. Prasad has recommended here, along with the hyaluronic acid, and even more important, the enzyme inhibitors. Yes, there are enzymes within our body, and just like the food enzymes that we are taking that break down our food, there are two different enzymes that actually break down the collagen. And Dr. Prasad has found a way, with the right supplementation of 2 enzyme inhibitors, it actually slows down that enzymatic breakdown of our bodies, and provides us that youthful looking skin, hair, nails, but more importantly, all the structure aspect of our bodies.
So you just basically said then that when we take this collagen peptide, we keep what we make. So instead of losing out the back end, I'm actually keeping the collagen as I'm making it. So that's a big deal, folks. So for those who have issues with making sure that they want to look good, this is the one. I like the fact that this has the neurological benefits in blocking those beta amyloids, and which leads to memory loss and Alzheimer's, dementia, all those kinds of things. So those are just side points. But Jeff was just giving us a 20-second the commercial on each one of these, which is just very powerful.
Absolutely.
So these are the bundles. How are these put together? Why, and what kind of prices are we looking at?
Well, we started out right there. As I said, if you can only take 2 hits in getting your immune system healthy again, it's that basic bundle. it's important, but you see the premium there, adding the collagen and then the core 4 with the omegas. That's
Yes.
you're truly getting it's almost a buy 3 and get 1 free with
That's
Dr.
right.
Prasad's core 4. So that really is the best bang for your buck. You're approaching your health from all angles with that.
Yes, 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 indeed. And so for this month, because we're in April, we're in Stress Awareness Month. If you buy the Core 4, you're a brand new preferred customer. You get the CBD for free.
Yeah.
And there are other products too. There's the Eye Boost, there's the Brain Boost, there's Digestive Boost. Did I leave one out?
Sleep boost.
And Sleep Boost. So you got 4 different boosts. So what if I want to add on some Brain Boost to this? You gonna give me one of those for free too, or
No, but at a substantial discount. In fact, 1 is $10 off, 2 is $15 off, and you can see it goes all the way up to where $45 savings
Hmm.
by adding I think it's a 3. Anything above 3 is going to get you a substantial savings as far as your boosts are concerned.
So just keep adding on the boost and you're getting more discounts on each of them. So that's a pretty good bundle. I'm gonna put a picture up here one day with just the full bundle showing you how to get everything and the discounts that you're getting as you add them on. So that's fantastic, Jeff. So thank you very much for doing that. Maybe we can take a few questions if some have some questions that they would like to throw out. As long as we've got Jeff here. If you want to know how to get yourself signed up, just remember, just get back with the person who invited you to this discussion, and they'll help you identify which one of the formulas is the right one for you. And before we transition to the questions, just know that Jeff is going to be taking care of the call next Sunday. And we talk about this a lot, and we find that everybody's got a story, and so many of these stories just don't get told. Because if we didn't have a forum to get like Freddie's story a couple of years last year and Sheron's story last year, we would not have that to share. So you're going to be extracting some more stories out of our group next weekend.
Going to be amazing stories, people coming forward and sharing the significant improvements that their bodies are realizing by just correcting the micronutrient deficiencies.
Well, that's it. Well, that's what we're going to be doing. Jeff's going to be taking care of that then next week for us, so we can look forward to that. So let's see what kind of questions there are out there. I see someone raised a question about something very specific and precise, which may take a lot of discussion.
You know what? Really not a whole lot. With anytime type 2 diabetes is involved, we know that Dr. Prasad has studied it extensively, and we realize that depending upon your body, diabetes type 2 can be represented in many different situations in the body, whether it be the eyes, like is referenced here, or the peripheral neuropathy, or the high blood pressure. There's so many different aspects of it. But when somebody is on the products and their body starts to elicit a response, and it could be that in this question there was a response that occurred in the eyes, and the doctors are kind of freaking out about it. But it's just like somebody's blood pressure changing or their blood sugars changing. Those changes the body needs to go through in order to balance things out, because it's all a matter of balance. And just like if you've got a scales in front of you, you go up there and you think by adding this much weight on this side, it's going to balance it out. And sometimes it tips too far. And so our bodies are doing that for us as we add this nutritional products. And Dr. Prasad has always recommended that these products are non-toxic, that you cannot build up a toxic level because of that correct combination, quantity, and form that exists, because it's all going in together. Now, if they were single antioxidants,
that's right.
yes, You could have issues with toxicity. You could have issues with being allergic to it. In fact, earlier you recommended the borage oil, and I had somebody say, I'm highly allergic to that. And I said, just try it in Dr. Prasad's formulation, and there was no issues. But before, when they were taking it as a standalone borage oil, their body was not handling it properly.
Mm,
So in the
that's
situation,
an interesting point.
yeah, in the situation that I'm addressing here in the question about the eyes,
Yeah.
sometimes by just increasing the dose, like going up to a 2 times the dose or 3 times the dose for a few days, is enough to help the body balance that out. Once again, back to that scale, when you put something on this side, it kind of needs to be balanced with the other side. But by adding more, you're going up and you're giving the body different weights and different parameters to make that balance happen faster.
That's very good. And that would have been my suggestion, was to increase the amount, because they could possibly not be taking the correct amount. In fact, we recently had a client that was battling a very serious condition, and the initial recommendation was to do what Dr. Prasad said, take 3 times the recommended amount for their particular situation. But it turns out she decided, well, I'm just going to do 2 times the normal amount. And she wondered why her CEA markers were going up. So anyway, she's going to go ahead and go with the correct suggested amount. And these, again, we're just talking supplements. We're not talking about treatment or cure for any disease, but that balancing act is a critical thing. And is it possible too, Jeff, that because CBD approaches inflammation from a different angle, that adding CBD could also help with the extra inflammation that the person is dealing with, more microdaily, but also bring that CBD in there?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
All right, very good. So there we go. There we go. I see another question that popped up in here, Jeff. This was about pregnant women. That fish oil is a concern for pregnant women. That's because of the mercury, though, isn't it?
Mercury, but you also have fish oils that can and do go very rancid.
Right.
And so Dr. Prasad's approach, by having the vitamin E in there to protect it, to add an antioxidant to a supplement so that it doesn't go rancid. I mean, that's just
brilliant.
Absolutely. But no, we're Dr. Prasad has been on calls where he's talked about those that are of childbearing years, and also in that beautiful creation of life. And all of these supplements are designed with, first of all, being safe.
Right. Right. Okay. So the follow-up question is there a way to avoid the shots in the eyes?
I boost and at least double. In fact, we've taken many individuals in that situation by just having them double up on the microdaily
And double up on eye boost.
and eye boost are no longer needing those shots in the eyes.
That's it. And then take maybe 100 milligram, at least 50 milligrams of CBD a couple times a day. That would be about 100 milligrams for the day. That should bring the inflammation down quite significantly. Okay. And maybe one more here. I see something about open heart surgery. I'm not quite seeing that one.
Can you repeat the health info for someone who is listening, who is scheduled for open heart surgery in a few days?
The health info.
Yeah, it's just,
okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I would just say that, like you always do, Jonathan, that this is just a natural approach to correcting micronutrient deficiencies, and you have a firsthand with experience of people like Jacqueline Gray.
That's right.
Amazing experiences. It wasn't an overnight fix. I mean, if they got open heart surgery scheduled, What's that for? Is it blockage? Is it valve repair? What is going on? A lot of it could be addressed, and a better outcome could be presented by just supporting the body nutritionally even before surgery.
That's right. And in Jackie Gray's case, she had a mitral valve prolapse, and in time, in fact, Ruth Lawrence also had a very similar situation. She said the valve was like this, and in both cases, the cardiologist said, "It looks like your heart has repaired itself." So they love making that statement, and everyone loves to hear the doctor make that kind of statement. So that's a beautiful thing. So, and for those who are concerned about heart, one of the patents that Dr. Prasad received on his original formula was for heart health. It included the statement micronutrient formulation for heart health. So it really does have a positive impact on the heart. So that I think is really exciting. So that brings us to the top of the hour, Jeff, and I think that we've covered quite a bit, and I think everybody, I believe, benefited from this. We are trying to tell you folks that stress is real. You don't want to find out that you've got a heart issue while you're on a gurney in the hospital. That's not the thing to do. You want to deal with it ahead of time. You want to try to avoid the problem, see the potential calamity. And it's what we're dealing with right now, is everyone is under stress. So I have on my book, in my inventory right there, I should turn the camera around and let you see it. I probably got about 40 bottles of CBD over there. I have no intentions of ever running out.
Never. It's fantastic in a first aid kit, in a box, in just wherever you need it. I can't tell you how many times I've had people just in a kind of a freaking out situation. I said, just open a capsule and let that powder go right underneath your tongue.
Wait a minute. Helen doesn't freak out. I've never seen her freak out once.
No, not Helen, not family.
Oh, okay.
I do three-way phone calls with so many different people every week, and it's like get some CBD in you and microdaily EMF. In fact, open up a packet of hydro and just dump some of the powder in. You don't have to take the whole thing, but just get something in there to demonstrate to your body that help is on its way.
That's it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So CBD's the winner, folks. CBD's the winner. So Jeff, thank you very much for your input. Bernard, thank you very much for your co-host. Errol, thank you for being co-host. And thank you all for taking out time out of your busy schedule to come to a presentation like this. If you know someone that you care about, we do this every Sunday. Even if you don't see it on the Engage Global calendar, we're doing this every Sunday. So it's happening, period, no matter what. So, and Jeff is, like I said, he's going to be here next Sunday. So you want to bring everybody out of the woodwork. Even if you don't have a story, I guarantee you'll change somebody's life. Do you know, Jeff, that the last time you did Everyone Has a Story on this channel, on my YouTube channel, that's one of the most viewed videos of my entire channel. Yeah, it's staying right there in the top 5 now since you did it.
Awesome. Let's do it again.
Yep. So bump it down, bump that one down and replace it with a new one. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much.
Hey,
all right,
thank
Bernard.
you so much, Jeff and Jonathan.
Thank you.
Look forward to that inventory. You got the biggest inventory in the company. Bring those experiences next week.